Welcome back. It's the DMV Weave Doctor, located right here in Bowie, Maryland. Right, we're getting everything situated. We going live. We're going live, baby. Okay, red, white, and black. We are ready to attack. All right, and today we're going to be talking about. Now let me make sure to have this daggone thing. Okay, she finally went off. Okay. Now that was just a commercial, and we're going to put in the chat on some of our hair loss options. All right, and with some of these options, we offer not only just different products from our product line, but also we're doing in-house scalp therapy trichology treatments, and those are excellent for reducing inflammation. Also, a lot of people do not realize that some of the different modalities that we use increase circulation to the scalp. Okay, and those are some of the biggest issues when trying to deal with alopecia and different type of alopecia conditions. If you do not reduce the scalp inflammation, all right, or the circulation at the scalp, or reduce DHT, you are not going to get results. So we finally have figured out, the proper, adequate, different type of procedures that we offer that can help you give you the best results. Okay, for hair growth. So that's our little memo. And look at our link tree at purevirginmain.com. You can purchase some of our hair products and of our units that we're going to be talking about today. All right. So today we're going to actually, because it's a big thing now. A lot of people are really into trying to go glueless if possible. And the weed doctor is going to be giving some different types of suggestions. And child, look at the weed doctor. I just got my facial. Okay. I got my facial. Okay. Honey, the cheekbones are popping. Skin is popping. All right. I cannot wait. I went, and I'm like, I hope Instagram, that stupid daggone video still ain't going on. All right, if I done went off. So I had to go get my facial done. I try to go at least every 2 months. All right, now, if I'm really on it once a month, if you have skin problems, you probably have to go twice a month or at least once a month. Like if you have acne, I'm kind of was blessed child by good genes. People always ask me what I do to my skin. Nothing. I went there today. The lady was like, "What you do to your skin? What is your regimen?" Girl, I ain't got no regimen. Okay. Sometimes I don't even put that on my face. Okay. But today we're going to be talking about this is the Glueless Alopecia Wig Install Series. And we're seeing like a surplus of people asking about these different types of things. Number one, there are a lot of different type of styles out there on the internet. One of them that's been surfacing that is very, very popular is the topper. Now, with the topper, some people, it's pretty much like a U-shaped type of thing. And some people, if they have a relaxer or if they have a curlier or a wavier pattern that can easily blend in with the hair, or if they purchase a unit that blends in very closely to theirs, in some cases, you may not have to use adhesive. However, your hair has to be able to be gripped and braided and plaited. And generally, that's typically around the 1 to 2 inches. Now, we have performed some miracles. Okay, child, the weed doctor's a miracle worker. Okay? What's that song? Waymaker, miracle worker. All right. So, with that being said, we can grip, child, we can grip you. But it's best suggest, if your hair, though, is less than this amount, it's going to be prone to sliding. So, you're going to have to be a little bit more careful. You're gonna have to, not be trying to shampoo your hair at home. If you know that your hair is less than the amount that the weed doctor is suggesting for you. Okay, even if you go to the barber, some people be getting their hairlines and edges and little grow out. If you're gonna leave out some in the back, to the barbers and letting them maintain it. However, when you go to your barber, if it's with the area that's very close to where your unit is at, tell them do not cut up there. Okay, I don't care how tempted they are, and some of these barbers don't be listening. If your barber don't listen, fire them. Okay. I'm being funny, but these units are very expensive, and so is especially if you're trying to go the glueless route, and if you're trying to do this as without much glue as possible. So that is one method. Now with that, some individuals they are okay with applying. They have different ways to do that too. Some people are okay with using the hair gel system, the hair gel like the different got to be gels and things like that, or even now, honey, they have lace wig adhesive sprays. And to me, they are very, very, very on point. Now, the one thing about this, when you're wearing these systems, and this is where some people fall into trouble, you cannot put excess amounts of oil on these products. And I know some people be like, girl, my hair's still looking good. I don't need to come into the shop. The thing about it is that the longer that you wait, the oil and dirt builds up at the roots. Okay. And this make you more prone to shedding. Now, if you don't mind, purchasing your lace front or your closure or to getting your unit refab, getting like getting it re-altered or whatever, paying additional monies for that, then just to make just be aware that if you do not come back as frequently, and if you over there putting lye dye and blow dry all up on your scalp, you putting all these waxes on the roots, all of these oils and things like that, you are going to begin to deal with shedding. Also, too, because we do have some people who don't be listening to the weed doctor. You cannot be going in the shower without a shower cap on, okay? Every time that you are getting your hair damp, especially right at the root area, child, this is not, I know you may feel like you're Halle Berry when you put that wig on, but baby, when you get in that shower and that constant wet and moisture, especially at the roots, a lot of us, the people who do have cornrows underneath, if you do that, it's going to cause the knots. These many of these knots were hand ventilated. You're going to start to see some slippage, and so this is like it's loosening up right directly at the knots at the root of your lace wig install or your lace unit. So you guys, if you're going to do this, you just have to follow the rules. If you're going to be doing excessive amounts of swimming, you may not want to get a full lace system. And again, like we just said, you cannot be applying all of these heavy, excessive oils and products directly at the scalp. Okay, even though it may look like your scalp, baby, it is not your scalp. And if you're one of these people who is tall headed, I would suggest that's going to still do what you want to do. I would suggest probably that you get a silk top, a silk top type of from your stylist, or, a hair replacement specialist. Look into that, or get a very full, thick density unit. Those that are full density, where the hair is very compacted. Now, the only thing about that, it does not give the more scalpy illusion that's going to give your hair a very versatile and supernatural look. So so it's kind of like you have to decide, if I'm going to not follow the rules and I'm going to be more prone to shedding, then it may be best that I get the thicker hair, or thicker density. However, if you do that, you're not going to be able to get that same ultra sleek hairline. Okay. So these is just some things to look into. All right. Now, okay, we talked about the topper. Now, some people, I would say, if you want the most flattest, child, if you want them edges snatched, okay, a lot of time that does require adhesive or tape of some kind. Now, we have clients who do not get the actual glue, and I tell people too, sometimes the amount of glue can, it kind of reduces the lifetime of your unit. So tape, I think a lot of times is less harsh on the unit. And if you have sensitive skin, even though the weed doctor, we're gonna be ordering another sensitive adhesive, probably for those who have, we had one for cancer patients, but we're going to be purchasing a new one that is going to be very, very, very mild and sensitive, because so many people nowadays have different type of allergies. Some people, just develop redness or dealing with dermatitis, eczema. They may need to get a softer formula. Now, again, If you get a softer formula, guess what's going to happen? It's more prone to lifting. So if you get those little gummy type of adhesives and tapes, they typically, in a lot of cases, are not going to stand up to the time as the more, I believe, silicone based adhesives. So they have some water based ones. Sometimes those are do not stand up to the time as much as some of the silicone based ones. Okay. All right. So and also I'm trying to think anything else with those toppers. Also with the toppers, if you really want to get big willy with it, remember that song, "Getting Jiggy with It"? Nah, 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 nah. Okay. If you want to get jiggy with it, it's best to purchase hair systems that they have different companies. We doctor works with different people, whatever. It goes underneath. I call it a hair harness. Some of my client made up that name. It goes underneath the actual hair piece. I mean, or actually your hair system. And some of the child, that thing will have you locked in. Shall you be locked up like you're about to get locked up? Okay. All right. And with that, it doesn't do a lot of shifting. Okay. So when you're braiding that down, honey, it's going to keep your unit nice and secure. However, if you receive that type of treatment, you are going to have to come back at least a minimal of every 4 to 6 weeks. With those hair harness systems and those different type of, there's some different type of devices that you can put underneath there to keep it if you don't want to use glue. It requires for you to do quicker removals. So in some cases with the just with the traditional adhesive, you might have been able to go, using like the glues and the tapes, you might have been able to go, 3 months, or if you really was trying, okay, you heard me, doctor, really trying to stretch it out, the 4 month mark, which I really don't advise. But sometimes if you are on a very strict, tight budget, then the 4 month mark. But and again, as we said earlier, the more that you are not shampooing it, you're going to be prone to shedding, and that is going to cause your lifespan of your unit to go down. All right. So if you have these different type of use these hair harnesses and things like that, you have to come back in to get the actual install redone faster. All right. And the actual care system itself can it's a minor investment, like around $100+ But that way, if you have this hair system or whatever, a lot of people use these hair systems for months and months at a time. So that is one way of getting a complete glueless. Now again, if you want the most snatch sewed edges, you're gonna have to use the adhesive or at least the tape, baby. I've done installs just completely glueless, but for me to get, to get that thing just sitting on there right, and sometimes the hairspray can get it too. But I'm just talking about for the optimal, giving your stylist the most versatility and the most, they have to be able to mold the hair edges and have it stay in place. Don't want to have the gel getting clunked up at the baby hair roots. So it's a lot of different things that's involved when you're trying to do all these different types of things. All right. The next thing is the band method. This method is good for people, I think, if they just have hair loss that starts, like say, imagine like this is bald part right here. But if you are completely bald, I would not necessarily advise this hairband method. This hairband method is for people, I believe, who have hair at least within this area to further back. So if you have severe alopecia where it's going far, 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 far back, at least um, going back faster than like your ear area and that midsection, then that may not be the best for you. But if you do at least have hair, a lot of hair in the back and in the crown or a decent amount, the band method is pretty good with gel. We've seen many clients who been able to come back every 2 to 4 or 3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks. It really just depends on the individual and their lifestyle. If you're over here duking it out like you Serena Williams and Clarissa Shield, then I don't know. Okay, running a marathon of miles and all these miles every day, you may have to be somebody that that may not work for you. But again, each method depends on your natural pH. And so, every all the stuff that we do is just like a science. So for some people, they be like, girl, why your hair weave lasts a long time? It depends on her pH. It depends on how acidic maybe her sweat is, how often that she's exercising, all of these different types of things. And has to do also how she does her maintenance at home. Y'all be telling all y'all business to the weed doctor. Don't be, like getting in the shower, not putting on stocking caps, not tying your edges down, like you ought to. All of these things affect the lifespan and how long your units last. Like we have some clients, like they will have the same exact hair unit with different results. Okay. For example, we had a client and they bought the same exact hair. We like to take this pill. They had the same exact hair. They cost about the same amount of money. One client got about 7 to 10 months out of it. Well, child, guess how long the other client. I'm probably going to post their information. I probably write that on when we do our email blast. Probably talk about some of our new glueless options. Her unit lasts about a year and a half. Okay, boo boo. And those are some of the more expensive cranial prosthesis or hair loss systems. Okay, so and that has a lot. That's a lot being said. She's almost pretty much doubled her wear time. And so another thing, another suggestion to make sure that you keep your unit as long as possible is to make sure to get styles that are stationary or that don't require a lot of combing and detangling on a regular. The more that you have to tangle it, the more you have to put excessive heat around the edges and things like that. If you're trying to get the optimal, most, finest hairline and all that type of stuff, your unit may or may not last the same amount as somebody who's going to pretty much get the same standard hairstyle, not really doing a lot of curling and styling, and in some cases, getting the actual updo. All right. All right, so now the next thing that we're going to be talking about, let me look what's on the weed doctor's docket. All right, so we're still talking about some of the different type of glueless type of installs. So we talked about the gel, we talked about the hair, different systems, the band system. The next thing is the cranial prosthesis that are custom fitted. Those are very, very well for people who want to take on and off. However, it depends. It really depends on what texture that you want. A lot of times, I'm just being honest, sometimes the African American texture hairs, the kinky straights, the kinky curlies, things like that, some of the vendors may not have all that versatility in the textures, for the exact fitting. So these are just some things to look in, to just be aware. So you could get as close as possible with your stylist and say like I know for a client coming up, I'm probably gonna have to do some customizing of my own on a unit because not every hair company is going to provide the exact texture and or fit for what you're looking for. Okay. For example, if you have say like you have a very unique alopecia type of um, I guess form of alopecia or whatever, depending on what type of hair that we select, it may have to be physically altered by a stylist, or if especially if the hair company's unable to do it, because we already have discussed that for a lot of these different type of hair companies, they may or may not be able to give you all the different versatility as far as the different curl texture patterns. Now, if you want the weed doctor to do the custom fitting and stuff, we can make them on your head. So that has worked for some clients. However, with that method, again, we do suggest that you get the closure with that. If you do a ear to ear, sometimes it may not be as tight, especially if you want to go completely glueless. Also, now if you do want to get the lace front, we do have the actual the dome cap units that we make by hand, or outsource them for different customers. Those work very well too. But sometimes we find clients who are trying to go glueless who do not have any type of hair. They may have some limitations as far as all the different types of customization options and texture options that they're trying to get. So just keep that in mind. Even though those are more fitted, a lot of times we can, the lace typically is going to withstand better. The hair is generally, in most cases, not going to be shedding as fast. Now, we tell everybody, if you get Afro kinky curly type of hair, those hair on average are not going to last as long as a wavy or straight type of hair. All right. So these are just some things to look into. Also, I'm trying to think of anything else with the hair replacement. Those can be fitted for unique pieces. There's some people who want to leave out some of their hair. There's some people who want the most secure and snug fit. So those are some of your options. And make sure to be mindful when you're working with your stylist. You may have to deal with some different type of things and variables just to get your texture right and to get the most snug fit. Woo, child. So we trying to think, is there anything else with this gluteus alopecia wig? Also, now another thing for the gluteus alopecia installs. Also now this can apply, everything that we said also can apply for a sew and weave as well. Also, try to do this hairstyle. Child, we ain't gonna try. We're gonna slay. Okay, slay all day, slay, slay, slay. But I've been seeing that some people are shaving off the sides. So I'm going to post that later on. We're probably going to try to remake that next couple of weeks from now. Shaving off the side and sewing down or clipping everything else and just putting some tape right on this side. So that is another option. So make sure that you're working closely with your hair replacement specialist so that you can get the best results for your alopecia. You can get all your accommodations. You can find out what unit is going to be the best for your texture selection. As we stated, a lot of times the exact custom fits that take weeks and weeks and weeks to come back, they may or may not come in different type of curly, ultra curly, or tight curl patterns. And if they do, it just depends. Sometimes it's not going to get all the customization that you want. So it really just, the best thing is to do the consultation process, which is on the link. Oh, somebody said hello. Hey, Miss B. How you doing, Miss B? Okay. So yeah, it's best. That's why the weed doctor advised everybody to do a consultation. And with that consultation, some people say, dang, this form is long. Okay. But that's because we do not want you to waste your money or be calling us angry a week later. Okay, we want to give you the best option for your alopecia. All right. So we hope that that was a very informative show. We were able to educate you on the process of trying to, go on the route of going glueless or using the safest, most natural forms of adhesive that do not cause a lot of excessive stress to the hairline. All right. Thank you so much for your time. We hope that you have a wonderful and fabulous afternoon. And ooh, Lord, it's nice outside, okay? Time for the weed doctor to get a snack. Time for the weed doctor to eat and get her lunch. All right. See you next time. Have a blessed one.